So 101 Station with Attitude, Super Duper Morning Show. We got a special guest joining us in the building. Got to say good morning to Miss Cassandra Richardson, a.k.a. Cassie, from the Victim Support Services. I'm sure you guys saw the article last week in the papers introducing her as the new director, right?
Yes.
Yes, as the new director over there at VSS, well, which is under the Ministry of Justice.
Yes.
And Cassie is here with us this morning to tell us a little bit more about the Victim Support Services. Good morning, Cassie. How you doing?
Good morning, Super. Good morning, listeners. Victim Support Services. Yeah. So it's been a long time that we've been trying to get it established. It was established actually officially with the notary in 2021.
Okay.
And so we opened officially in 2024.
Now, this is something that's I guess very important and needed. I mean, it's fortunate that we have it, but unfortunate that we need it.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Well, is the ways of the world, Super.
Right.
So, at least you live in a country that has it, right? So I know when I was executive director working with Safe Haven, this was one thing that we noticed that was really missing.
Right.
To be there for, well, specifically for, in my case back then, it was domestic violence victims. There was no in between. We did a lot of the not negotiations, but a lot of the facilitation with the police, while we had other things that we needed to focus on.
Because I wanted to ask that question. What's the difference between this Victim Support Services and the Safe Haven?
Right.
Right.
Well, Safe Haven is a domestic violence shelter. So it's where battered women or women who have been abused go to seek shelter. And Victim Support Services is larger.
Okay.
So it's not just dealing with domestic violence victims in order to facilitate between police, court hearings, but it's also for other victims. So victims of crime and non-crime.
Right.
But where there's trauma inflicted. So where there's serious trauma inflicted. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's what Victim Support Services is all about. And it's open for men, women, children.
Men, women, children, everybody who are victims, and as well, by extension, a family of victims as well.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So,
now, how does someone know that they're a victim? You know, because whenever you hear of a victim, you're mainly focusing on the person that was directly involved.
Right.
But like you mentioned, you don't have to be directly involved. It could be by an extension as well.
Yes.
But how does someone know they're a victim, or how does someone say, you know what, I think I might need the assistance from VSS?
Well, we can start with practical looking at the process, right? So how do victims come to us? And that's usually through two main ways, and one main way is the police.
Okay.
So if they go and seek support from the police, and the police don't have the capacity to help them with different services or even provide even emotional support.
Right.
That's what Victim Support Services is there for, right? In other cases as well, and we're going to be looking into that with our stakeholders, is actually through the psychologists as well.
Okay.
So persons who happen to go for mental health, but are so traumatized and still need services and support, they would be able to reach out as well.
Okay. And like I see here on your Facebook page, it says if you're dealing with anything from sexual assault to major crime, emotional support, even major traffic accidents. So basically, if you're traumatized from anything that happened within your life, this is what this service is about.
This is what this service is about.
Okay.
So people would be able to seek the services through mainly the police. No walk-ins.
I was going to ask,
Although, you know what, I do welcome in the beginning if people want to step in.
Okay.
To be able to see the space, to talk to me, to find out any more information, to talk even maybe about old cases that they went through. come in.
That's possible.
Yes, it's
and then from
possible.
there you let them know, okay, what are the procedures that they need to follow to continue.
Right.
Okay.
And so we are coming out with more information where you'll be able to recognize what the process is, and if you are identified as a victim, what's the criteria.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's say if I am identified as a victim, what is the procedure? Do I say, hey, listen, I'm a victim. Hey, Cassie, I need some assistance, or do I have to go visit my family doctor first, get a referral? Right. How does that go?
So it's through the police. So it's whether on if there was a crime or if there was a major event.
Okay.
Right? And so usually your first responders would be the police, the ambulance, but the police are the first stakeholders right now, currently, where victims would come through.
Okay.
For Victim Support Services St.Maarten.
All right. So they would need a police report, or does that?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. The police would just tell me, Cassie, I have someone, or there was a traffic accident, a major issue that happened last night or whenever. Is it possible that you're able to provide any sort of support?
Okay.
And then I would say yes.
All right.
And
So who assists these persons, these victims, once they get to VSS? Are they therapists, psychologists, like you mentioned earlier?
Right. So you have a whole community of people and a whole community of organizations as well, right, that provide different types of services. So through Victim Support Services, their needs would be assessed.
Yeah.
And then usually then we facilitate that next step. And it's not necessarily only with programs and services or public programs and services, but it's also, for instance, with funeral arrangements, just walking a person through different types of activities that they may have to get done, but probably don't have the emotional capacity to be able to do. And so this is where the institution steps in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to assure persons that all this is also confidential, because that's an issue here in St.Maarten.
Is it? Really?
It depends. It depends, because sometimes you go on Facebook and you're like, okay, I didn't need to know all of that.
Right.
But some people still are, they don't want to speak up because they have a fear of everybody just knowing or somebody finding out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything definitely is totally confidential. Also, too, we provide awareness. So besides just it being confidential, but we don't want the person's specific issues to be known, but we do want to talk about the topic, right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, like this month, it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we wouldn't be necessarily talking about the specific person,
right,
but we're doing outreach and education within the community to make people aware of the topic of sexual assault, how not to become victimized from sexual assault, and also pushing the narrative that consent is important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, if persons are interested in contacting the Victim Support Services, how can they do that? Do you have a Facebook, phone number?
We do have a Facebook. So that's Victim Support Services VSS. Look for us on Facebook. Please like and share. And then we do have an email address, which is victims, plural, support @justice.gov.sx. And then the telephone number is 587-6477.
All right, so those are the contacts. Now, is there special opening hours? Is it a 24/7 service? How does that work?
Not a 24/7 service for the public, but between 9 and 5.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Now, if something happens on a weekend.
Yes, then I get the call.
Then you get the call. Okay, so things can be handled if necessary.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, I know there was a major story last week in the papers that, some people are very concerned about where it talks about, let me get the correctly, where it says a homophobic male violently attacked a man at a club.
Yes.
And Safe SXM, they're seeking justice.
Yes.
And I believe that they're also collaborating with VSS on this issue, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, they are. I'm not at liberty to talk about the case, but we have provided support to the individual, and I do believe that the individual is very happy with the support that they were given. Yeah. It was a very traumatic, unfortunate incident that happened to this individual. And so, yeah, it was a privilege and an honor to be able to help.
Yeah, I said it was crazy, and you know, just to attack someone because of their sexual preference, unprovoked.
Right.
You know,
unprovoked. Yeah. But also to Super, it doesn't just end there, right, between perpetrator and victim. So I know that they've also been certain videos and certain things being said about this individual. This incites hate. It also incites violence. Stop. Yeah. I mean, like, not cool. I know we're trying to get, you know, the likes and the
views and all of that.
The views and everything like that. But this incites violence. Yeah. And so without people standing up, to actually say something about it, to stop. This could be your neighbor, this could be your friend, this could be a family member because of a person's sexual orientation. Right. Regardless of where we are or how we feel about the subject, but victims are victims, right? And unprovoked, not cool. Yeah. Because we wouldn't want it to happen to any one of our loved ones. Right. So
whether it's, like you said, based on sexual orientation, based on color, based on gender, whatever. I mean, yeah.
Right. And so the other area around that too is the bystander effect, right? So people kind of watch it happen. Yeah. And that's indicative of a society that's numb, right? That's numb towards a few things, and that's scary because this is my community. It's your community. Yeah. So we also want to do more education, more awareness on the bystander effect and how we're able to get involved to be able to sort of to help our loved ones.
Yeah, but sometimes you might have people that say, you know what, that's not my business. I don't want to get involved. Listen. I saw what happened to that person. If I step in, it might happen to me as well.
Yeah, you know something, and it was the same thing that people were saying, you know, when we were promoting stuff on awareness about domestic violence, right? So this is a man but this is your community. What you see happen and what you allow to happen, it's indicative of what kind of community that you want to see. So let's not. We're very, very going towards a area of individualism and not a collectivist society anymore. I know that we've lost that. I mean, I can talk a lot and so much about that. Yeah. I rather not right now, but really, really try to hang on to those values because it is important. We are a community. And we should be watching out for one another. Doesn't matter where you're from or who you prefer to go to bed with, really.
Right, absolutely. Victim Support Services, we have the director here with us, Ms. Cassandra Richardson, a.k.a. Cassie, here to talk about it. And it's this is part of the Ministry of Justice, right? It falls under the Ministry of Justice.
Part of Ministry of Justice,
right.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So if you need any information, you could always contact them at 587-6477 or send them an email at victims support, so that's victims, plural, support at justice.gov.sx, or you can visit their Facebook page. That's Victim Support Services VSS on Facebook, and you could always contact them. Their opening hours are Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. To 5 p.m. And of course, if you need any info to find out how you could receive their services, whether you're a victim of a major traffic accident, sexual assault, major crime, emotional support, assistance with court proceedings, navigating services and support, and more, you could always give them a call.
Thanks, Super. Thank you so
welcome.
much.
All right. Anything else you would like to add, Cassie?
No. Oh, wait. Can I do a shout out?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'd like to shout out to my people at Fit Foods. I've been powered by them today.
Okay. What you got today?
That's the
coffee.
Just coffee.
Just coffee.
Don't
Okay.
Don't ask. None of your business.
Well, Cassie, I want to ask you one more question, which I will be getting into your business, which is the question of the day. Facebook.com/Laser101. Don't worry, it's an easy one. one. I don't know if Fit Foods will enjoy you answering this one, but just tell them it's freshly made. How do you like your orange juice? Tiebreak Tuesday. A, no pulp. B, some pulp. Or C, lots of pulp.
Some pulp.
Some pulp?
Some pulp.
Okay.
In between.
No problem. There you go. Thank you, Cassie, again for joining us, and keep up the great work. And
thank you, Super.
you're back. You of course you know the door is always open for you.
Yes.
All right, my spirit animal, Cassie. Big up to her one time. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got your birthdays coming up next.